99.3 Babylon FM. This is the Breakfast Club with Noor and Zoe. Emma's taking a break. How you doing, Em? How you doing, Zoe?
I'm doing great. Doing excellent because it's the weekend and we already played Halab al-Khamis.
We did.
And we're pretty excited because we get to have a 2-day break.
First weekend of February. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what we can come out with. I'm looking forward to see if we're going to come back with more energy or just complete tiredness when we're back in the studio on Sunday.
Any plans?
Ooh, I mean, I really want to go out to the north and throw some snow at you, but like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be fun.
Bold of you to assume that I would be willing to join you on a snow trip.
Dang.
No.
It's all good. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, the weather's good. You can just walk around. It just feels good. There's nothing like that Middle Eastern sun in the winter. Bam.
Yeah, especially if you go at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., that's when the sun is perfectly gets to hit you.
Exactly.
And we will not get a headache, don't worry.
No.
It's important to wear your SPF, but also stay in the shade. It's good for that vitamin D. I mean, we all have a deficiency in the vitamin D.
Exactly.
So yeah.
All right, let's get the show moving. We're so excited. Told you guys earlier we got a special guest. It's one of those guests that we can't really announce, so you're just gonna have to chill and wait. And it's just an honor to finally have him here. This is becoming like a little tradition. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah.
We got friends. Please give a warm welcome to the new American CG in town. It's Mr. Rob Waller. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Noor.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing excellent. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to join you on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I'm surprised we were even to get a hold of you because we're looking at everything that you're doing. You're super busy, like right off the bat, doing a lot of different things at the same time. So how you been? How has it been since you started?
Well, you know, it's been fantastic to be serving here in Erbil. I arrived in July, and I feel like we've been going non-stop ever since I hit the ground. You know, to the extent that we can during COVID. Of course, that's made things difficult for everyone in the region, ourselves included.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this must be part of the most hardest situation that you've dealt with. You have a long history of diplomatic work, and we're looking forward to getting to know you a little more. But we're going to be doing more songs and less talk. Maybe that way we can get to know you even better.
I mean, I always say you get to know a person through their taste of music. It says a lot about a person, what they listen to, and what kind of music they are into. But you joined, you assumed the title of CG in a very difficult time. You said July, where it was peak COVID here. But now things are starting to slow down a bit, and we're seeing, of course, while you're staying safe, wearing a mask, we're seeing that you're doing a lot of things here in Erbil, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, we're very happy to see that the COVID situation here in the Kurdistan region seems to be improving.
Yes!
And we're excited that as the vaccines roll out around the world, we look forward to getting back to something that hopefully looks a little bit more like normal in the very near future.
Boy, we hope so, Rob, because we want you to really experience the Kurdistan region. And we want these difficulties to be out of the way so that you can see and experience everything that our region has to offer. So let's kick it off then, Rob. Let's start off with your list. Zoe, you're going to be a fan of this one. His first choice, he goes with an 80s classic. This is Whitesnake, Here I Go Again. Why did you go with this song, Rob?
Well, I will admit that when I picked this song, I think it raised some eyebrows among my colleagues who didn't realize that I was such a metalhead. But, you know, I'm a child of the 80s, and so grew up listening to hard rock. And I'm one of those people who always has a song playing in my head. And whenever I get on an airplane to go somewhere to start a new assignment, for example, this is the rock anthem that is playing in the back of my mind. But I will say that the thing that I've learned over time is that even though it's a very catchy song, you know, the message isn't totally accurate because I've discovered, you know, in the State Department that you're never really on your own. And one of the things that's made being here in Erbil so much fun and so interesting is that we have a really terrific team at the consulate. You know, I have colleagues who are working for USAID, for example, who are assisting with the economic development in the region and assisting with humanitarian causes. I have a colleague who specializes in working with refugees and IDPs.
Oh, don't forget the superstar, Mr. Serbas.
That's right.
We love him. I mean, his hair is a superstar by itself, but we just love everything that he does and gives, and he's a great bridge between you guys and everybody else, you know, in the Kurdistan region.
You're right, and he's an excellent example of our local staff who really are that bridge between us and the rest of the region, who help us to understand the region better and who help us to be as effective as we can be in trying to strengthen and help the Kurdistan region succeed.
Well, we can do that with music, Zoe, and I know you're a big fan of this. She hosts her weekly show, The Rock Collision, where she goes like this. This is the kind of music that she goes into.
Love white stuff, yeah.
So here we go. It is the first song from the American Consul General, Mr. Rob Weller. It is Here I Go Again with Whitesnake. All right. Good. That was excellent. How you feel? Okay. All right. So we're gonna go straight into the rain song, the Virgin Free Water, right? And then when we come back, we'll be talking between that song and the Harlem River song. Yeah, man, I'm jealous of people who grew up in the 80s, or lived in the 80s.
It was a great time for people who like hard rock.
Yeah.
The classic era.
Never came back, forget about it.
Yeah.
But these two never go out of stuff.
When did you start, Rob, with the Columbus team?
1998.
98?
Right.
Okay. So that's cool. That means you were doing something else before 98.
So I was in grad school. I did a couple of internships with the state department before I actually joined.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Awesome. Well, I hope you get to like it here. It's not like other places. It's got a little uniqueness to it. There's some good things and bad things about here.
And I have to say, I really enjoyed it. It's been
Cool. Well, we feel good whenever we hear that. We always want visitors, guests staying here temporarily, like to really come and go out with a great experience. Like that matters to us. We like that. It makes us feel good.
Well, it's I think partly, the warmth of the people and the culture here, as well as the, music. And of course you have some pretty interesting challenges that both the society and the government are working toward. It makes it very interesting to the city as well.
No, it's a great place. We just have stability here. It's a great place. Inshallah. We always have stability. So you're vibing, huh? But yeah, it's crazy how, don't worry, we're going right straight to a song. But I say it's crazy how, like, the COVID situation is so much better here than compared to America. Like, nobody understands this. How in Asia and Africa, we was a phase, 3 months, was in the summer, and gone. The numbers are lower now than they are in the summer. It makes no sense. And abroad, it's opposite in Europe and America. Nobody understands this.
Yeah, it really is remarkable. And, I ask people, the health director, for example, from the industry, help me understand why you think the numbers are different here. And I haven't gotten a really good explanation
It's
yet.
gotta be something scientific behind it. I mean, we were thinking like there's possibilities. I was talking to some doctors saying genetics could be an issue, could be a thing. Way of life, where like it's super clean living in America and Europe. That makes you more vulnerable to these things. Where us, it just went through us and.
You have stronger immunity when the environment around you is dirtier.
We always notice whenever we have relatives coming over from abroad,
Yeah.
first week they're just dying of sickness, stomach pain, they throwing
Like,
up.
just simply drink water. So different. It's so different.
99.3 Babylon FM, this is Noor, Zoe right there, Breakfast Club on this gorgeous morning, and we have a special guest in the house, Mr. Rob Wheeler, the new CG in the U.S. Consulate. Rob, that was a good way to start. We're going a little classic from the get-go. We just heard, I mean, I know that song, but I'm one of those people that like don't know exactly that band, but I know that song. We've heard it every now and then in movies and stuff. Who is Creedence Clearwater Revival? Can you please tell us how the heck did you get to this song, or why is it one of your top songs?
Sure. So Creedence Clearwater Revival is a really legendary American band, and part of what I like about them is they have a really unique sound that's instantly recognizable. You hear a CCR song and you instantly know that's what you're listening to, and part of that's because of incredible vocal talents of John Fogerty. Now, what's interesting about CCR is that they have this vibe and this sound that you would think maybe came out of southern Louisiana or something.
Where are they from?
My understanding is that they actually started in a garage in California decades ago, but fantastic band. And the reason I chose this particular song is because it reminded me of a few months ago when I experienced my first rainfall in Erbil after this long kind of parched summer, and I was so happy to see the rain. And you know, it's such a precious resource, particularly in a place like the Kurdistan region, and at a time when we live through this era of global warming. So part of what we try and do at the consulate to be helpful to our Kurdish friends is to spend time taking care of the environment and working with Kurds who are trying to protect the region's habitat. So just a few weeks ago, for example, we were up at Gali Alibag, which is beautiful, beautiful waterfall, as you know. But we took the opportunity to join some Kurdish friends and plant some oak trees. So we're trying to give back and to do what we can to ensure that the region remains green and fertile for many decades to come.
Yeah, that's important. We posted about this a couple of months ago, that the issue of deforestation has been happening since 1998. So it's very important for us to really take care of the environment by, planting more greenery. Because when you arrive to Erbil, the first thing you see is this kind of desert-ish look-alike place, and there's this big spot that is Sami Abdurrahman Park. That's the only greenery that can be seen from above. And we want to change that.
We do!
We want more greenery here in Erbil and in the region. So it's really fun and refreshing to see that you are doing this as a consulate.
Well, it's so important, both because it helps to clean the air, because it prevents erosion, just on so many levels, really essential for the region's health.
Rob, you said you started around July, August, and it was a big buzz right after start. It's always important in Erbil. It's one of the biggest topics whenever we have a new CG in town. You signed up for 1 year or 2 years?
So I'm here for just 1 year, but I've spoken with my successor, who is very much looking forward to arriving here next summer. So I can promise you that you will have yet another prospective guest for your show, who I suspect will
take them all.
The Breakfast Club.
Okay, so then Rob, being in the position you are, I'm guessing you have a choice, and you chose Erbil. You can pretty much work almost anywhere you want. So why did you choose Erbil?
Well, it's a great question, and it's funny, in our system, we say that it's a little bit like the way the Army does it. You make a list of the places where you'd like to go, and they send you someplace else.
Ooh.
But in my case, that wasn't what happened. I really wanted to come to Erbil. Before I came out here, I'd been the director of the State Department's Iraq office, so I've been following these issues closely and understood how important the Kurdistan region is to the overall success of Iraq and to the success of our Iraq policy. So I was delighted with this assignment, and as I said, I've just enjoyed being here immensely.
Yeah, how has it been so far? I mean, have you gotten the chance to try our food? That's what we always ask.
So always the food first. Tell us what you've eaten, sir.
People, the food, how has it been?
So it's really fantastic, and at the risk of starting an international incident, I'm going to say that Kurdish kebab is even better than Turkish kebab.
Ooh. That's a strong statement.
Clapping right there. Can we get a little hal hala? There you go. Okay. All right. So that's awesome. That you are into kebab. Actually, I ate kebab just yesterday. I mean, you can't not hate kebab. It's like not loving your child. Why would you do that? You know.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're getting to know us through the food, the culture, and the visits to different places. You said this is like you were familiar with the place because you had a stint earlier. Was that stint in Baghdad or was that in Erbil as well?
That's right. So it was in Baghdad. So back in 2007 and 2008, I served.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yes, it was. It was a very different time in Iraq.
Yeah, things have definitely changed since then, and we're happy to still have a strong U.S. consulate here. We're gonna talk to you a little more, getting to know you a little later, but right now let's get back to your songs. We got Harlem River Blues. What's this? What's the story behind this?
So what's fun about this song is that even though the lyrics are a little bit despondent, but the music itself is really fun. It's energetic. It's upbeat. You know, it's almost impossible, I think, to listen to this song and not to want to tap your toes or clap your hands. And I love blues music, which is a uniquely, you know, it's an American creation. It reflects our unique history. And this is a great example of kind of a contemporary version of that genre.
It definitely seems like you put extra time to make sure you have the right list in there, Zoe. Like, I've noticed, like, it's been engineered.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to put some thought into this because I wanted to share something with your audience that would reflect, you know, some of the best of America.
Well, speaking of audience, what do you guys think? Let us know what you think of the song so far, or if you have any questions you want to ask, text it 0750-5993993. We'll come back with much, much more. This is The Breakfast Club on Babylon FM. All right, doing good. How you feeling? Thanks, so much.
I really do love this song.
Yeah. Let's crank it up then. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a gorgeous start to the day. You should be. It's Thursday, and you don't get to see the coworkers that you don't like for a couple of days.
Why are you looking at me when you
I'm
say
just saying. I'm just saying.
It's the perfect time to go on a snow trip too. A lot of people enjoy snow trips to Kora Mountain during the weekend, but be careful of that istiham, you know.
Be careful. You don't want to be. You don't want to be stuck. Zoe, you said you're trying to get somebody from the Korek resort to interview. Hopefully next week we'll get a chance to catch them.
Hopefully we're talking to them, see if they can join us soon. But yeah, that's one thing to look forward to next week. And also next week we're going to be announcing our Valentine's Day gifts, so stay tuned for it.
Oh, you don't want to miss that.
Yeah. So we have the U.S. Consul General Rob Waller here with us today. And we were pretty excited about this. We could not announce it in the morning because, you know, but this has been a tradition. We've had several other U.S. Consul Generals here before, but we're trying to get to know him and his taste in music. We were saying earlier that you can tell a lot about a person from their taste in music. So, Mr. Rob, you've chosen a quite interesting list, but we mostly notice that it's rock and roll. Is it because you grew up in the 80s, or it doesn't matter when you grew up, you always loved enjoying rock and roll?
Well, I certainly think there's something about rock and roll that's universal, and even though, you know, it's another musical genre that I think was pioneered in the United States to a large extent, it has an appeal that goes well beyond our borders, and I think well beyond you know, the time frame in which some of these songs were initially composed and performed.
Okay, I think the rock music revolution mostly started in the 60s, but then it continued until like late 90s. So you have some bands and some artists from different decades, but you also have an interesting one, Milk and Honey, Habibi. That's, I believe, an Arabic song. Is that correct?
It's French. Is it French Arabic?
It is. It's French, Arabic, and English.
Ooh.
Why though? That's so different from everything else we've listened to so far.
Well, you know, part of why I love the work that I do is because it's constantly exposing me to new places, to new cultures, to different music, different languages, and that particular song is a reflection of the delight that I find in learning about the world and being exposed and making new friends. It also reminds me of some of the wonderful Lebanese friends that I've had over the years, and I really enjoy the Lebanese because they know how to enjoy life.
That's so true. Yes.
And I get the sense that Kurds are very similar. That people here really enjoy life much as the Lebanese do, and so I thought that was a fun song to add to the list.
Maybe that's why we got so many Lebanese people living in Erbil, because there seems to be a special connection between Erbil and Lebanon.
Yeah.
Rob, you talk about how you get to have the opportunity to see so many different cultures, meet so many different people with the job, and that's really cool. And when people think about it, they'd be like, man, that must be like the best job in the world. But of course, there's a lot of difficulties that comes with it. Like, how do you balance being away from America so many years? You got a family, you have people, you have friends. How do you manage, being away for such a long time?
It's a great question, and there's no question that it really, it can be a challenge after you spend many years outside of your country and away from family and friends. Maintaining those relationships requires extra effort to make sure that those bonds stay strong. But I will say that one of the advantages I found is that I think for people who live outside of their own country for an extended period, it helps you to understand your country better. Because as you see how other countries and other societies function, you learn to appreciate both what your own country gets right and areas in which you can learn from others and make improvements. So that's a part of this career that I very much enjoyed.
That's cool. Let's get back to the song. Zoe talked about this Habibi song, so I want to play it. I'm kind of jumped on the bliss, but it's all good. We'll come back to the rest of them, but let's check this out. This is Habibi to everybody out there listening.
This song is really fun. It's so like Lebanese chic.
Yeah, why not? We like that. Say it name?
The Sam.
The then?
The Sam, because I love you.
Do you speak French? Really? Cool. What's that? The show from home? No, but we were like updating the playlist. I was coming once a week. We couldn't do shows, no.
No, he's talking about Dan. Is he able?
Who?
Dan.
Dan. Oh, yeah, he did a few. He did a few from America. But now, it's just really hard. It's difficult to just keep going. So we're trying to keep it going. But with recorded shows, it's true. You can do it anywhere. I thought you were talking about the Breakfast Club during the Corona. Yeah, we had to sit home for 5 months. And it was crazy.
Yeah, that must have been really hard.
We've really been hurt. The radio station has really been punched. Like last year was the worst since 2011. Imagine. So we're trying to make it. We're trying to survive.
That's tough. But on the other hand, you're probably a bit of normalcy for your listeners.
Yeah.
The fact that the station continues to function.
That is the goal. Lord knows we don't do this for money. We do this to like cheer people up, make people laugh. Most of our Spanish, right? Yeah, I just want to make sure. Sí, hablo español. What do you think, man? We got the American Consul General, Mr. Rob Weller, here, and he's giving us a time of our lives with these interesting songs. He's got a great playlist going on for us. How you feeling, Rob?
I'm great.
Oh, sorry, forgot you, my friend. How you feeling, Rob?
I'm doing well, thanks.
All right. So you said this is your first radio interview. So what do you think so far? Is it different from what you thought it was going to be?
So it's a lot more fun, and I wish that your viewers could see the studio, because I have to say I really like your taste in interior decor.
Oh man, that was our boss. You know, he really loves this thing. He's really passionate about design. Shout out to Mr. Salman Zaito. He really has done a lot of these kind of studios, sets for TV channels and radios. And yeah, this is pretty cool. We love this. We don't got no window though, Zoe. That's the thing I'm complaining about.
Yeah, that's why Noor always keeps the door open, and I freeze in the winter, but it's all good.
Rob, are you the kind of guy that likes cold or hot?
Hot, for sure.
Ooh, so that's why he chose Erbil.
Yeah. Which part of America are you originally from?
So I grew up in a small town right in the middle of the United States, right on the Mississippi River. So Mark Twain country.
Ooh, okay. And how was that like? Was it a great experience? Small town life?
It was a great experience. It was kind of like growing up in a Norman Rockwell painting. So it was a part of America that that I don't think that we'll see again. But it was a fun time to grow up, and a very nice, safe town to grow up in.
Learn to swim at a young age?
I did.
Yeah. In the river?
Not in the river.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, the part of the Mississippi River near my
It's
town.
dangerous, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't want to try and swim in it.
Ooh, Lord, no, we don't. Okay, so Rob, and we're happy just to have you here. We know that your schedule's tight. You're gonna have to get going. 2021, you're here until like about summerish. What's the plan for the U.S. consulate? What are you gonna be busy with? What are you guys gonna work on from here until July?
Well, it's a great question, and kind of at the top of our list is working on economic issues and trying to attract investment in American companies to the Kurdistan region, because we recognize that the whole world's dealing obviously with an economic downturn. We're certainly feeling it here in the Kurdistan region. We believe that part of the solution to that has to be not only attracting foreign direct investment, but growing the private sector, and especially entrepreneurship. And in fact, one of the songs that we have on the list is on there specifically because it reminds me of the sort of vibe that entrepreneurs need to have. It's very energetic, it's intellectually curious, and of course I'm talking about today's Tom Sawyer by Rush.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, well I have a lot of questions after you said that, but that's fine. Let's play the song. We'll talk a little bit more about the economy, because that is what's on people's minds at the moment. So we'll see what exactly you guys are going to be busy with regarding that and other topics. Let's get back to the list. This is Tom Sawyer, Rush. All right.
He was a fictional character, right?
That's right, that's right.
You know it. And she's young, she's 23, 24! Like, I was shocked when I saw this. I'm like, that's not how you are, because she's just so well knowledge about music. Yeah. Well, you don't hear 24-year-olds into these kind of things. She's just, she knows the song, and that's my part.
I was just saying there,
minutes left, Rob. It's just gonna be closing on a little bit. We'll come back to the topic of Quran because people want, that's what they want to hear more than anything. Jobs and stuff, and the US stuff with things we can help with. And then we'll just go back to life questions again. That's it. We'll go back. Yeah.
You got the Arabic song, right?
One.
Arabic.
Yeah, you have no Kurdish songs.
Yeah.
You don't really have any Kurdish songs here. We're so sorry. We don't have any Kurdish songs at all in our library.
Oh,
And then when we saw that, we didn't even know how to find it. We actually tried to look for it on YouTube even, but. And then if you have a link to it,
It's on YouTube.
do you know what to type?
I forget the title.
We even copy pasted this thing, but like, it didn't work.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on YouTube. That's what I heard for the first time.
Okay, do you know how to find it? Can you see it?
Do you know what it's called? Maybe.
When they say today in English, but in Kurdish, it's
Yeah, you can't type that in English.
there it is right there.
Is it this one?
$8 number.
First one?
Yeah,
You
no,
sure?
second one.
This
Yeah,
one?
that one, yes. Yeah.
Alright, no problem. We'll set it up. Hi, you were not here?
I was doing some more.
We were talking about your hair.
My hair. It looks so hair today.
You got a
Just
shower.
like any hair today.
We called you a star. We said you're a star.
Thank you.
You're like from the rock أنا مختار. أقول
Yeah.
دخلي وخليني. أقول عفوا والله ما عرفنا ده بس خلصت مقدر
There's
له.
like something more than just photo, to be
Oh,
honest.
exactly.
عزيزي. إيه
So we can
مقبول
use
مقبول.
sort of,
من أوركم خلينا لك الخير ولا داري حاليا.
I think it's because
Okay, I see.
most people when
They
they
say
drive to
one
work
thing,
it's
just take 10 seconds.
9 o'clock or 8:30 because that's when we start the show 8 o'clock. So I think a lot of people are not listening now, but we're gonna post an interview on our app and our website. So they can listen to it. Do you have any messages on WhatsApp?
Nothing, just checking in. Good morning. Welcome. Just lots of welcome.
A lot of people don't feel like they have to send an SMS right now because there's WhatsApp.
A lot of welcoming messages.
كانالي لوكالي جيهاني بازيات الراسي سزمان تدوينت فيلم سينما يكان ميوزيك دراما ورزش هوالكان كوميديا بينالي جيهاني خود بلقل ياه لايف وزاني ريزيا ترسدني مالطري www.yahlife.com بكان
Hottest morning show.
The Breakfast Club and
Curtis, I'm about to let us know. All right. Yes, everything is possible. Even having Kurdish on Babylon FM. Good morning, good morning. We got a special show right here with the new USCG. I should stop calling him new. He's been here for more than 6 months. Mr. Rob Weller, how you feeling?
Oh, great, thanks.
You put it in Kurdish in there. Put it in a little different. What's up with this? You gotta have a story behind this.
Yeah, so that's a really fun song that, earlier this week I was in Suleymaniye and I met Mazhar Kaleki, who's the director of the Kurdish Heritage Institute. And he's recorded not only this song, but over 200 other traditional Kurdish ballads and folk music. I think he and his team have just done an incredible job of preserving Kurdistan's history, its cultural heritage, not only in music, but in photographs and literature as well. I just think they're doing an enormously important service to the Kurdistan region.
Yeah, I love the song. Part of the reason why, of course, this is a great folklore song, but part of the reason why a lot of people in the Arab world actually enjoyed it as well, because we had Parwas Hussein
Sing it.
on I think it was Arab Idol. She sang this song and it became hugely popular. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with the song and enjoyed it.
Shout out to Parwas. All right, let's keep things moving. So, Rob, before we let go, we talked a little about the economy, and you said, that's what you're going to try to do, maybe, because that seems to be what people care more about than anything at the moment, because of the hard economic situation people are dealing with. What exactly do you think you guys are going to be tangled with, involved with, in terms of this issue from here until summer?
Sure. So there are two areas in particular. One, of course, is the energy sector, because it's really the engine that drives the region's economy. Our Development Finance Corporation in Washington recently approved a $250 million loan to help expand gas production at Khor-Mor. So that's the type of investment that we're bringing to the table, and that will hopefully generate jobs and generate increased revenue for the region going forward. And then the other area is agriculture, and this is one that I think there's a natural synergy between the United States and the Kurdistan region. U.S. of course is the world's breadbasket. We have cutting edge technology. We want to make sure that Kurdish farmers have access to that technology, to the products that American farmers use, that has made them so productive, because we recognize that here in Iraq, the Kurdistan region is and should be the breadbasket of Iraq and the region as well.
There is a lot of potential when it comes to agriculture here. There is this man from Halabja who does these great things with fruits. He creates hybrids between a couple of fruits, and you can see potential with him and many other farmers. So it's really cool to be supporting these kind of initials.
Rob, we heard that you're really into agriculture, and I guess now it makes sense, telling us where you're from, Middle America like that, and you talk about how the U.S. the U.S. aid assistance through USAID is committed to these kind of points. You are planning on seeing a major agriculture support by the U.S. Consulate the coming week. A USAID project with the Shama Foundation, where they're doing solar energy, and that is a revolution. Finally seeing real, not that cheap stuff that doesn't work, real solar energy that is empowering farms. That is so cool.
I completely agree, and part of what's so exciting about the potential of the Kurdistan region is the potential for renewable energy here, particularly solar, is just tremendous. And to the extent that we can take advantage of those renewable energy sources, that frees up additional gas and oil that can be exported, which is of course a prime source of revenue for the region. So the two really go hand in hand, and we're delighted to be in the vanguard of those who are supporting those efforts here in the region.
We can definitely use all the support we can get. Shout outs to Shama Foundation. Really happy about that. 30 farmers getting actually solar energy, so that means they don't have to waste money on generators and their maintenance and their gas, and also of course that project is a really big deal. That's one of the largest USA program, where you also guys doing 100 homes with the solar energy. So that's super cool. Rob, let's get back to the list. We got a couple more songs we want to crank out, and then we'll do a final goodbye. We have up next. Let me see if I don't screw up the list. You got a joint is jumping. Fats Waller. Never heard of these last two artists. Who are these people? Who's Fats Waller, first of all?
So Fats Waller was an amazing pianist, and he's one of the performers or musicians back in the United States who really helped to lay the lay the basis of contemporary jazz. So he was enormously pivotal in terms of the history of the evolution of American music and the creation of jazz. The reason I put him on the list is, I've always felt a special connection to Fats Waller and his music because we share the same last name.
I was gonna say, is he your cousin? Is this a hookup?
No, I wish I could claim that he was a close relation.
You feel cool.
But what's interesting, of course, is that Fats was African American, and so I know that his experience of America growing up was very different from the experience that I've had. And of course, February is Black History Month in the United States, and so listening to Fats's music is one way in which I'm reminded of the incredible contributions that African Americans have made to our society, our culture, our history, and I think he's emblematic of those just enormous contributions.
From one Waller to another Waller, here we go. The joint is jumping. We'll be back with more. Alright. Well, I hope you're having fun, Rob. This is fun.
Well, this is way better than what I get to do at home.
They come every week. We're done. Here we go. 99.3 Level on FM. This is the Breakfast Club. Noor, Zoe. We're a little longer than we're usually on air, Zoe.
Yeah.
Going out with a bang on Thursday, and we have the American Consul General, Mr. Rob Weller. We are going through the list of his songs and also trying to get to know him. Rob, we talked about your plans and what you've experienced. We talked also a little bit about the reasons of why you come here and a little bit about your history. And your music is really cool. We really hope we get to see you more than one more time, I guess, before your tenure is over here.
Well, thanks so much, Noor. It's been an honor to be with you today on the Breakfast Club.
Well, it is likewise for us too. Whenever you guys have some free time, I know you guys are super busy, but whenever you do have some free time, come here. We can jam it out. We can put you a guest or a special host of the Rock Collision, so we can teach you how to do the whole rock show on your own.
Yeah, that would be an honor.
That would be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Rob, before we say goodbye to you, you got thousands of people listening to you right now, mostly young, but we also got some people, not young like me, listening. So what's your message to everybody listening right now in the streets of Erbil?
Well, this last song that we're going to listen to really speaks about our common humanity. the stuff that binds us together, regardless of our nationality, regardless of our religion. And I think it's an important message, particularly during this time where we're experiencing a pandemic, we're all in this together, we're all doing our best to help each other to survive by using, following medical guidance and using good social distancing practices. So I think this last song is a reminder that things are going to get better, but that we have to hang in there and help each other out.
There you go. Positive vibes is what we need on a Thursday. And that sets us up for the last song. It is Tattoos of Life.
That's right.
Tattoos of Life, Mr. Phil Liebman. Rob, welcome again to the city of Erbil, and may you have a wonderful, wonderful experience and journey here. And thank you for everything that your office does as well for our region.
Thanks, Norm. Thanks, Zoe. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Right.